right, welcome everybody. It's time for another summer webinar. We're so excited to be with you, and this is a special topic for today. If anybody had a chance to catch the daily message, it's a perfect segue from what I was talking about this morning as it relates to the new process of a coming soon photo and the new process of a closing photo with clients. No more just posting a Canva image of the front of the house or posting a photo with your clients at closing. There's a lot more to it today. So hopefully you got a chance to catch the daily message. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about as it relates to the daily message, I'll give you the instructions on how to get it in just a second. Anyways, for those of you that are joining us from all over the US and Canada, maybe even outside of North America, we love to see where you're joining us from. So before you utilize the chat feature in today's session, make sure there's a little arrow to the right of the chat. When you click on the chat, it says to hosts and panelists. It defaults to that. Change it to everyone so everyone can see where you're joining us from, especially because you start to be repeat attendees at our webinars. We like to see, people like to see your name over and over and over again. So let us know where you're joining us from, whether you're coming from the US, the Canada, New Brunswick in the house. Thanks for being with us this morning, or actually this afternoon for you guys. And if you're a first timer, let's see our first timers. Just add to the chat when you put in your city and state or city and province. If you're a first timer, add that to your message as well. Great to see so many first timers. Welcome to our first timers. All right, California, thanks for waking up with us this morning in California. Miami, my second home. I love Miami. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So for those that are not familiar, my name is Jeff Glover of Gloveru. I've been listing and selling real estate now. Crazy to think this, but this May I entered into my 24th year in the business. That's right, 24 years in the business. And why is it different what we're doing over here at Gloveru? It's different because I'm in the trenches with you. I'm going on listing appointments. I'm taking listings. I'm working with buyers. I'm having closings. In fact, in the last decade, I've personally averaged over 100 transactions a year myself, personally. That does not include what our team does. I have a feeling that's part of the reason why we're the fastest growing training and coaching organization in North America. And who are we for? We are for all agents and leaders from all brokerages and all brands. We are completely broker agnostic. In fact, if you get the chance to come to one of our bigger events, there is not any one brand that is represented more than other. We've got a pretty diluted group, if you will, and we've got representation from all companies today. So thank you for showing up not only to our events, but to today's webinar. There is a workbook for today's session. They will drop that in the chat if they have not yet. That will get thrown in the chat. The reason why you want to download the workbook, there it is because there's a bunch of free resources in there. I'm only going to touch base on 2 or 3 because I want to get to the goods. We heard you loud and clear with our webinars. We used to spend 15, 20 minutes sharing a bunch of free resources, and then we only got 40 minutes of content. Now we bumped it up to about 50 minutes of content and about 10 minutes of intros and resources. So speaking of free resources, for those that are not familiar, there's a daily message that goes out every single day to help you. Every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Friday, I write a message that's specifically designed to help you list and sell more real estate. Sometimes it's I went on an appointment last night. Here's what the seller said to me. Here's how I handled it. Other times, like today's message, I had a closing yesterday. Buyers that I met for the first time. That's right. I met them for the first time at closing because we use the showing agent model. We'll save that for another session. But I met them for the first time. I shook their hand. I congratulated them, and I asked them if they would be interested in taking a photo with me. And I went through the process that we taught just about 10 days ago at our retreat to get phenomenal engagement, and not just get engagement, but to get leads on social media, which is really what this is all about. We don't care about your engagement. We care about your leads. But, of course, in order to get leads, you got to have engagement. Anyways, this morning's message, I talked about the 7 steps to help your client understand the value of you being active on social media and getting them to say yes to some of those requests. So make sure you get your hands on the daily message. If you don't already receive the daily message, get out your cell phones. I'll show you how to sign up for it. It's free to do so. It's a Monday through Friday message. I write it every single morning. I know we used to send it out via text message. I see Kitty put in the chat in there. But what happened is we had everybody on the West Coast sending us hate mail back because we send it out, 8:30, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and their phones were pinging at 5:30. So we switched to an email. Trust me when I tell you we loved it via text message as well, but it is via email, and you can also get it as a notification in the Gloveru app. So if you're kind of one of those like, I overlook my email sometime, super simple. Just go to your emails every now and again, search Gloveru, and you won't miss one, or turn your notifications on in the Gloveru app. If you turn your notifications on in the Gloveru app, Michael from C21 there, if you turn your notifications on, my friend, you'll be able to get them daily just like you would any other notification. All right, so here's how you get your hands on it. Ready? Text the word morning. Text the word morning to 55444. Text the word morning to 55444. It's going to ask you your first name, your last name, your email address. When you're done filling that out, it's also going, and it's in the chat there too if you need to see it. When you're done filling that out, it's also going to spit out a link to the Gloveru app. I'm happy to report, by the way, I saw somebody ask during yesterday's webinar, the Gloveru app is back up on Android as well. It was down for a good month or two. It's back up on Android for those of you that have Android. And so it's going to give you the link to our app. That's the second resource. So if you want to use the daily message and get the daily message via email, text the word morning to 55444. That signs you up for that via email. If you want to receive the daily message via the Gloveru app, so you get a notification every day, make sure you download the Gloveru app. Because, by the way, that is my second resource that I'm going to share, because there are a ton of free resources in that app. I mean, gosh, you could scroll through the resources for hours. There's so many of them. Take advantage of those, all right? Those are in the Gloveru app. You just search Gloveru in your app store if you don't have the Gloveru app on your phone, all right? Yes, there we go. There you go, Michael. You got it, all right? The final resource I want to share before we get into today's content is about 10 days ago at the Live Unreal Retreat in a beautiful town called Traverse City, Michigan, we released the second half business plan. This is the exact second half business plan that we're using with our team. This is the exact, which by the way sells just about 1,000 homes a year with 33 full-time salespeople. This is the exact second half plan that I'm using in my personal business. We're giving it away. Now, if you weren't at the retreat 2 weeks ago, you missed all the playbooks, and shame on you for missing that, but that's all right. We got another one coming up in January called the Summit. You can get caught up then, but I'm at least going to give you the plan. So if you want to write this down, go ahead and write down gloveru.com/halftime. That's gloveru.com/halftime. That'll get you the exact second half plan that we're using from now until the end of the year, because watch, it's July the 2nd. We're now 2 days into the second half of the year. All right, so get that plan in your hands, get to work on it, and let's make it a great second half. All right, so let's talk about why we're here today. You chose this webinar because you know social media can be a tool to get you business. You chose this webinar because you know social media can be a tool to supplement your business. It can help you with your database. It does so many things for us as real estate agents today. There was a day when social media was actually a distraction. Now social media is a strong tool. If you think about it, you understand people spend more time on social media today than anything else they do in their life other than sleep. Think about it. All right. Now, even you could say, well, what about work? Yeah, but people are on social media half the day at work. So that negates that one. So why am I saying this? All right. I'm saying this because consumers are constantly looking for stuff on social media. And so if you're using social media, but you're not getting engagement, you're thinking, Jeff, I'm doing all the right things, I'm not getting engagement, what should I do? Well, that's why you're here. And the leader of today's session, her name's Alanna Pfeffer. She's not only been studying the real estate game as it relates to social media in our business, for our team, and for my personal production and for my business, but she's been studying it across channels of agents from all over North America, because there's things that some do better than others. There's things that work. There's things that don't work. And so for those that are not familiar, she is the director of marketing of all things Live Unreal, whether it's Gloveru, Glover Agency, anything that touches one of my organizations as it relates to marketing runs through Alanna. And specifically, her highest area of expertise, I guess if there were a major on it, her major would be in social media marketing. And so I'm going to turn it over to her in just a second, but I want you to understand, at Gloveru, we very much teach prospecting at a high level. At Gloveru, we very much teach marketing at a high level, as you saw yesterday with Greg Erlinger. By the way, you can catch any of the replays of any of the webinars just by going to gloveru.com/webinar. And we have now figured out a way to use social media as an actual lead generation tool. Please know I'm in the trenches with you. I would not teach you something that sounds good or looks good and helps you get a ton of engagement if it didn't get leads and results. And so that's why we're here. So I'm going to hand it over to Alanna Pfeffer, who not only runs our entire marketing department, specializes in social media, she's also the leader of the Social Media Mastery Gloveru program, which is one of the hottest programs last year and this year. So Alanna, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. So this is a super important topic to me, why your engagement is low, and I'm assuming your engagement is low, and that's why you're here. But I think this is one of the biggest problems with real estate agents today. A lot of them even have thousands of followers, I've noticed, and their engagement is still like, 0 likes on some things, 0 comments, 0 shares. So I thought, this is where you should start. If you really want to use social media as a business tool, as a tool to start getting leads, start getting people to reach out to you. It starts with engagement. It starts with posting the right things and knowing like how and when to post. And I have some tactical fixes here that I'm going to share with you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So why your engagement is low and what to do about it. As you said, this is me, Director of Marketing, Live on Real Companies. I'm not a one-on-one coach right now for Gloveru, but Social Media Mastery is the way. If you want to work with me, you can work with me. Text social to 55444. That's the information for that. So today, what we're going to dive into 11 reasons your engagement is low. And these are like the top reasons that I've noticed agents on our team and just agents in the industry throughout North America in general. So that's number one. Number two, we're going to get into what the algorithm wants a little bit. And then the third thing is what to do before and after you post to maximize your engagement. So first of all, why is engagement important? So engagement meaning likes, shares, comments, saves, that signals relevance to the algorithm. And relevance is what the algorithm uses to say, this is a post that is important to this, that might be important to this person, and then they show your post to this person. So the platforms prioritize content that gets shares, comments, likes, and saves, which is engagement. So it boosts your post organically, meaning without having to pay for it. So the more engagement your posts are getting, the more people your posts are going to get in front of. It's free advertising if you do it right. And engagement, of course, so that's kind of the algorithm side, but engagement, of course, tends to lead to conversations, and conversations lead to deals. So, you've been talking about this for a while, but social media is, I think, the fourth database. So on our team, we truly treat it like a database. And in our team meetings every month, we go through operations, marketing, but we also go through social media tactics, how to turn your followers into leads or get your followers into your inbox. So it's super important for that reason.
Yeah, it really acts as two parts. It's a database for people that you've never met, and it's a database for people that you have met that you want to continue to stay in front of. There's really two types of social media databases, if you will.
Yeah. So the top way that our team is winning with social media, it's not that anyone has tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers, but they're getting people to reach out to them monthly to do deals. So 2 or 3 deals a month sometimes. So that's 24 or 36 deals a year just from staying in front of their database the right way on social media. So if no one is engaging with your content dies in the feed. So that's the point of, that's the reason engagement is so important. So 11 reasons your engagement is low. Number one, no hook. So Greg touched on this yesterday, but your hook should do these 3 things. Number one, grab the viewer's attention immediately, meaning, no, hey guys, I wanted to hop on here to XYZ. Nobody cares about you when they're on social media. They care about themselves. They're there for entertainment. They're there. You have to grab it immediately. There's no time for that kind of fluff in a hook.
Yeah, so no, like I wanted to hop in and talk about. I
Yeah.
wanted to share with you. Like, no, that's people are already moving on because it sounds like it's for you, meaning like the person doing the recording versus for them.
Exactly right. So number 2 is make the viewer believe that the rest of the content will be of value or interesting to them. So grab the viewer's attention, make them think something interesting is coming. And you got to do it in 3 seconds or less. 3 seconds is the average time people spend on a post. So make your hook quick. So there are 5 types of hooks. The verbal hook, which is what comes out of your mouth. the visual hook, obviously what you see on the screen.
I used one of those yesterday. For those that didn't join us during the webinar, during the marketing webinar, we opened up the webinar with me holding a dog. That's a visual hook as an example, right?
Right.
Something different.
So then there's a text hook, which is different. Text hook meaning the text on the screen.
Mhm.
So it's different from a caption. Audio hook, what you hear, and then
Okay,
caption
so
hook.
text hook is like if I'm scrolling before I click on it, I can clearly see the text
Yes.
on the photo of the video. Got it. Got it. Got
Right,
it.
right. So here I have some examples. So here's a verbal hook. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got to turn my sound on.
Yep.
That would help.
Diana Ross and many other Motown singers once lived in this iconic neighborhood in Detroit. Russell Woods is one of Detroit's coolest neighborhoods right now, and it's not just because Diana Ross once called it home. With its beautiful architecture, strong sense of community, and proximity to downtown, many people are flocking right now to Russell Woods to call it home. Is it a better opportunity for investors or for families? Both. I've been showing more homes than ever to investors and families looking in Russell Woods. Investors are loving the rehab opportunities, and a lot of the families are just strictly drawn to the green spaces, the parks, and that strong community feel. Send this to a friend who loves Detroit history.
So you heard the hook, the Diana Ross hook.
I heard two hooks in there actually.
Yes, there's two hooks. This one follows the short form video formula, the hook, information, call to action.
Yep.
But that video did over 10,000 views, and it's a simple video shot on my phone, and it's a video anybody can do. He said one line at a time. He didn't have to remember a whole book of lines, so that's how we did that one. Now here's an example of continuous visual hooks.
The number one question I get from real estate leaders is, how do I increase my profit and put more money back in the company? Most brokerages and teams are not profitable. They spend too much money on leads and not enough time on helping their agents,
every
teaching
shot
them how to
is
sell.
interesting.
Their organization becomes a revolving
Holds your
door of
attention.
mediocre agents. Oh my God, I'm so dizzy. You can
That's me.
increase your profit by 10 points by doing these two things.
That's fantastic.
You're full of shit. Number one, focus on recruiting producing agents. Stop hiring anyone with a pulse. Number two, increase your per person production. Here's how. Implement a sales-focused onboarding program like Sales Rocket, and implement weekly and monthly sales training. If you want to know how, we're sharing our entire playbook at LeadUp. Get your ticket now.
So, like you said, every shot was a new visual hook to kind of hold your attention.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Good.
So here is an audio hook and a visual hook. So you don't just have to do one. If you can do multiple, the more the better.
If agents join you for leads, they'll leave you for leads. If leads are the number one incentive you're using to attract agents, you're wasting your money.
So that sound that you heard at the beginning
obnoxious sound in the
was
beginning.
the audio hook,
Yeah.
and then of course with the visual hook.
Got it. Got it. That obnoxious sound at the beginning. Got it. Okay.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. So here is an example of a text hook, and I'm going to explain this in a second.
For the first time in 10 years, Tiger baseball playoff is back at Comerica Park, and we're so excited as the official real estate team of the Detroit Tigers. We're giving away 2 playoff tickets, 2 tickets to the game Wednesday night. Come down to downtown.
So the text on the screen is the text hook, and I made sure to put this one on here because you didn't say immediately win Tigers playoff tickets. So I really wanted people to stop and think, that they could.
This is not just right. This is not just another video of Jeff in a hotel room or wherever.
Yeah.
This is actually something different. He's giving away Tigers tickets. I like that. Alanna, question: where do people find the screeching, goofy video front? Like, where
Those
do people
are,
find those?
yeah, you can find those in CapCut. If you search transition videos, I think you can search different trending kind of like transition videos.
CapCut. So is that an
CapCut.
app that you recommend everyone have on their phone if they're going to produce videos like this?
Yes, definitely. CapCut is an easy tool for editing. It's what I edited that Devante video that I showed. It's
Yep.
Charlie, our videographer here, uses it for editing.
Yeah.
I think Live on Real Media uses it primarily for editing, but anybody can use it. It's super simple. And in Social Media Mastery, I actually have a whole class of how to edit in CapCut.
Yep.
So if you're
Yep.
interested,
Got it. Okay,
yeah.
good. So you cover that in your program.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay, good.
So again, just to reiterate, you only have 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So
number
in other
2.
words, what I'm gathering from that, okay, my takeaway, if I'm a real estate agent following this, it doesn't matter how great my video is. If I don't have something to grab them quickly, no one's going to see it. The
Yes.
engagement won't be as great.
Yes, your content could be amazing, but if you
Mm-hmm.
don't grab their attention immediately, it doesn't matter. Exactly.
Okay. Yep. All right.
So number 2 is low relevance. So stop posting for you and start posting for them. We kind of touched on this earlier, but I have a quick example of a similar post, one that got no engagement, one that got a ton of engagement, and you'll see the difference. So here is the one, and I cut out the name and everything, but I think a lot of agents post stuff like this. So here you go. So I won't play the whole thing. You get the idea. It's a video that you've seen a ton of times. Agents
Yep.
post stuff like this. It might be good information, but it's not done in an entertaining way. It doesn't
No.
speak to any
Boring.
one person. Yeah, it's boring.
Yep.
But here's a similar video that it really speaks to like a group of people. I'll show you.
Hey Brandon, I make $40 an hour. Can I afford an $800,000 home?
At $40 an hour, you would need a serious down payment. Let's map it out. All right, so you said you make $40 per hour.
And I won't play the whole thing, but he goes through it. But this one is speaking to people specifically. If I make this much money, and it's a person asking it, which is more interesting, can I afford an $800,000 house? And then you're thinking, probably not. But the way he starts talking about it, you're thinking, maybe you can, and how? So then you watch.
Yep.
So you see the difference? So the first one is posted because the agent just wanted to share something and wanted people to see that they know something. But the second one is truly shared to help someone. It's talking directly to someone. So that's the difference there. So number 3 is no value. So your post doesn't entertain or educate in an entertaining way. So entertainment value is value on its own. So try posting more entertaining content. Number 4 is inconsistent posting. And these, again, are reasons why your engagement is low. So number 4, inconsistent posting. So algorithms deprioritize inactive accounts and they prioritize active accounts. So make sure you're on platform, engaging and posting. Accounts that post 3 to 5 times a week get up to 2 times higher engagement than sporadic posters. So shoot for 3 to 5 times a week.
And by the way, that fits our, we cover, and I know you go over it in your program, what to do each day, but we have a plan for Monday, for Tuesday, for Wednesday, for Thursday, for Friday. Whether you follow it or not, 3 to 5 for somebody might sound super overwhelming. And the reality is that's because your staying power of your posts only will last. A good one will still get engagement maybe up to 36 hours after you post it, but the majority, the engagement starts dying off after about 18 hours. And so if you want to stay in front of your database literally every single day, and you want to be the one that they think of literally every single day, then it really should be 3 to 5 times per week.
3 to 5 good posts a week, not 3 to 5 Canva posts. Because I think agents hear like, I've got to be posting every day. And then they hire a VA to go on Canva and create those graphics and post those. No engagement. In fact, it hurts you in the algorithm's eyes. You're not posting anything relevant and you're probably never on platform engaging with people. So they deprioritize your account. So number 5 is no call to action. So give your audience clear direction when you want them to take action. So here are just some statistics, some Facebook call to action statistics. So posts with share this get 158% more shares. So you're telling your audience to share it, they're more likely to share it. comment below, or what do you think? 3 times more comment engagement. So you see, just telling your audience what to do results in higher engagement.
And I would even argue, if you go back to that one, I would
Sure.
argue comment below 3 times is minimum. I mean, I think it could arguably be 7 to 10 times, because I know if I don't do that, I might have 3 to 5 comments, where if I do that, I might end up getting 15, 20, 30, even 40 comments sometimes.
Right. I'm sure it's different for each person. These are just
Yep.
kind of like
Mhm.
aggregate. But
Yep.
yeah, definitely you should be looking at your analytics and
Yep.
know that type of thing. So here is the Instagram call to action statistics. So text call to action and captions, 89% more comments. Same thing. So start asking for the engagement. Start asking for the comment or the share and see what it does for your engagement.
Mhm.
And just grab a screenshot of this if you want it. So number 6, the reason your engagement might be low is no human element. So post more of your face. Close-up faces and people perform better than posts with no people by far. By far.
So close-ups for sure. Selfies are even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Selfies, I know it sounds goofy, but like you feel like you're there when it's a selfie, like a happy selfie with you and whoever else, or at a closing or whatever. I have some examples of you doing this, and you just feel like you're there, like the audience feels like they're there. And the screen is only this big. So the bigger your face is, the more real estate you're taking up on the device.
Yep.
So here's just an example of posts without faces, with no engagement. And then there's Devonte. Of course, he does a great job of posting lots of his face, and his client wins, and he has the engagement to show for it.
Yep.
So number 7 reason why your engagement might be low is no storytelling. So people scroll past just listed, just sold, but they stop for you won't believe what happened, or whatever other hook you have,
Yep.
and you're good at this. So I have some examples here. So you've
Yeah,
been
I just posted a new one yesterday. I don't know if you grabbed it or not, Alana, and every single person on this webinar could do the same thing, but it started with, and I'll just pull it up real quick because I think it's something literally anyone could go out and do right now. Okay, so first things first, following Alana's rules. There's the photo, and I know I have the green screen on, so it's going to be kind of hard to see, but there's a photo of me and the clients. Okay, I opened up with um, meet Nate and Olivia. They've got a lesson for anyone who enters the home shopping game, because they certainly didn't have it easy. But in the end, it ended up perfectly for them. And I just tell the story, which every single one of you on this session has a story of a buyer who wrote offer after offer after offer after offer that didn't get accepted. And when they finally did get it accepted, in their case, the one that they got accepted on was their 7th offer, and that house was better than any of the others they looked at. So kind of the message was a story of hope and stay at it and don't give up, and it's actually going to turn out, better in the end. But the point is that you all have little things that happen to your transactions that you don't even think are a big deal, and people want to hear that stuff. Like, I know it's day to day for you to write a bunch of offers that don't get accepted, but for those clients, like, they're telling everyone, oh yeah, we had to write 7 offers, but gosh, we're so glad we didn't get the first 6 because we love this neighborhood. This is the original neighborhood we wanted to be in, or whatever, right?
Yeah, and that's a caption hook. So when we were talking about hooks earlier, that doesn't just apply to reels or to video. It absolutely applies to static image posts. Putting a hook in your caption is super important. So number 8 is lack of engaging with others. So don't post and ghost. The algorithm will penalize you. Get on the platform even if you have nothing to post, and engage with people. Treat it like a database. You can talk to people for free there. I mean, it's free advertising, and it's a way to connect and be closer with people. And the algorithm will reward you for it, because when it's ranking your content, if you've been interacting with a group of people, they're going to see your posts for sure the next time you post.
And if I can make a recommendation on that one, if you can go back to that one, Alana,
Sure.
um, engage within a reasonable time frame. Remember, your post only has an 18 to 24 hour expiration date before it starts getting buried by other stuff. So the faster you start engaging, the more people they're going to show it to. So if your 18 to 24 hours goes by and then you go comment on everything, it might spike you might get a little bit of extra love on that post, but really you want to engage while it's fresh. So keep that in mind when we talk about what time we're posting. will you have time later that day or that evening? My kind of rule of thumb is get the post out at the end of the day, and before bed, go back and engage with everyone who commented. You got to kind of mentally prepare for that, because if you can engage with them during the first 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, that's going to help the initial blitz of that post get more views. If you engage 18 to 24 hours later, your engagement is not going to help as much.
Right. I totally agree. So number 9 is bad timing. Don't post when your audience is asleep. Early traction and speed of engagement matters, which is kind of what you were just talking about. So the more traction your post gets earlier on, the more likely it is to be shown to more people. So the way it works is when you post something, it used to be that it showed up to everyone who followed you in order of when it was posted. But now the algorithm kind of holds it back. It shows it to that close group of people and who you've been interacting with and who've been interacting with you. And if it's
Yeah.
getting a ton of engagement early on, it'll show it to more people. And if it
Yeah.
is getting even more engagement, it'll show it to people who don't follow you. And that's what we really
Yeah.
want. That's the goal.
Yeah, Amanda asked a question in the chat, if you want to go back to that, which I think is a great question. What about engaging with followers before you post? Yes, if you know that you strategically want a certain group of people, whether it be potential buyers, potential sellers, family, sphere of influence, whoever your audience is, if you want to increase the likelihood that they're going to see whatever you're going to post next, then absolutely start engaging with them. We teach leaders this all the time in the recruiting game. If you want potential recruits to see the stuff that you're putting out, start engaging with their personal posts. And you will
Yes.
more likely show up in their algorithm if you're engaging in their posts before you post anything. Absolutely. Great
Yeah.
question.
And later on in this, I have what to do before and after, and I'll just give you a hint or just tell you. One of them is get on before you post and engage with people. So it's coming up.
Awesome.
So these are like the global engagement times for Facebook. So you'll check your own insights to see when people are on, but this is, if you want to grab a screenshot, generally when most people are on Facebook. This is the time of day on what day of week. So those dark blue squares or rectangles, that's when you want to be posting. And then here it is for Instagram, similar, but interesting. It's a little bit later in the day.
A little later. Yep.
But check your own insights, like I said, to see the best time to post for your audience, because your audience is different from everyone else's audience.
Yeah. If you were to go back to that for just a second,
Mhm.
here's my 2 cents on it. If you're going to be posting in the morning, you better do it outside of your morning lead generation. This does not considered, while you will generate leads from social media, we do not consider it part of the prospecting routine. So later in the morning, as you see there, looks great for Instagram, works for me, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And then later into the evening, I like the dinner time, 5, 6 as well. Those are still pretty strong. So that would be my recommendation if I were coaching you one-on-one. Sometime between 10:30 and noon and say 4:30 and 6 p. That would be my recommendation for those of you that are wondering.
Blue screen again for you guys. Grab a screenshot. All right, so check your insights. Number 10 is inconsistent content. Don't confuse your audience. Don't confuse the algorithm. People generally, for most agents right now, people are following you because they're interested in you. Now, if you're getting bigger than that and people are following you who don't know you, and you're becoming kind of a celebrity, they're still following you because they think you're going to deliver a certain type of content. So if you're kind of all over the place with like, here's my dinner, here's my dog, here's a Canva post of closing fees, that's going to confuse people and confuse the algorithm. It's not going to get a ton of engagement. It's going to kind of like, break up your engagement.
It's inconsistent branding too. It's not good for your
Yeah.
overall brand.
So that's what I mean by that. And then here's some examples. So consistent, the first 3 are consistent. The last one is just kind of all over the place. It's like national holidays, and there's all kinds of problems with that last one. But a lot of real estate agents, this is what they hire out because they think they need to be on all the time. But I can promise you no leads are coming from that. Number 11 is ignoring analytics. So your engagement might be low because you're not paying attention to what's working. So get into your analytics, make sure that you have a creator account on Instagram and a creator account on Facebook so you can see exactly what's working. So you can start doing more of that and do less of what's not working, just as important. So here's an example of an agent who came to us who liked the Devante video because it got more engagement, more views than most of our other posts. And she said, can you create something for me that's similar to that? So using analytics, very smart. So we wrote something for her and we shot this, and here's how it went.
What happens when Ford has $1 billion to spend on a ghost town train station? Michigan Central Station sat vacant for 30 years, a symbol of Detroit's decline. It was vandalized, stripped of materials, and featured in documentaries as a blaring example of urban decay. But when Ford stepped in with a bold vision to turn it into a high-tech mobility hub, everything changed. Renovation started in 2018. 6 years and $1 billion later, it's a future-forward campus attracting startups, tech talent, and global attention. But what about the real estate in Port Town? Home values have doubled since Ford's purchase. Investors, developers, and new homeowners have moved in. Historic homes are getting restored and new construction is booming. Local businesses are thriving and Port Town is hot. Send this to a friend who loves Detroit.
So on Facebook, this video is up to almost 70,000 views now.
Wow.
And, you know, social media is an art and a little bit of a science. And as much as we can, I try to pick out the science of it. So this video follows the exact same format that Devante's video followed, with the hook and the information and all that, and the visual and everything. So when something is winning, you try to do more of it. You're trying to make some science out of the art, because sometimes it feels like it doesn't make sense, but if you really pay attention to your analytics, patterns will start emerging, and you can start snowballing some of your successes. And here's just an example. So the pink line, I'll go back. The pink line is like this video, and the gray line is average. So way outperform the average. And then this is the same agent. This is just a listing video. I don't think she was in this one. She might have opened the door, but our listing videos are our lowest performers. So it makes our clients happy when we post them, but they don't generally get a lot of engagement and a lot of views. So we tend to do less of those.
Yeah. So the lesson there is, when you do your listing videos, be in them, open the door, open with your face, close. My biggest rule of thumb is, in a listing video, open it and close it. You're the opener and you're the closer.
And even better if you can do something fun. And I know that if you spend any time on Facebook or Instagram these days, you've seen some fun listing videos. Try to come up with your own like trendy idea and take it a step further.
By the way, somebody asked the question, how do we check for these metrics? Again, because I have green screen on, you probably won't be able to see it, but right under, it's almost there. There we go. Right under the photo, there's a little button that says See Insights. See Insights. And on Instagram, it's called View Insights. If I click on See Insights, it'll take me to views. It'll take me watch. Alanna, you're going to love this, okay? I'm on this post on Facebook, by the way. The one I just did yesterday of the young couple that bought. 130 engagements, 22 comments, but check this out. Here's what I know you're going to love. 45%, so it's got almost 10,000 views. The photo in not even 24 hours, by the way, has close to 10,000 views. 45% of them, you can't see it because of the green screen, but non-followers. 45%
that's
of the
awesome.
people viewing that photo are non-followers. That's great.
That means the algorithm picked up on the fact that this post is valuable to people in some way. It might even be just that it's entertaining to people, and it's showing your post to people who don't follow you. That's the goal. That's awesome. So now we're going to get into what the algorithm wants. So the algorithm wants comments and DMs, which means direct messages. So this signals authentic connection. And authentic connection is important on both platforms. Facebook tends to more heavily weigh authentic connection, and Instagram tends to more heavily weigh like entertainment. But in general, they both value authentic connection, which results in greater reach. So the people who you're commenting with and DMing with, those people are going to see your posts. So that's what that means. Shares and saves. So this signals that the content is valuable. If people are saving your content, saving your videos or your images, that means they want to come back to it later because they found it valuable in some way. Or if they're sending it to a friend, even better. So that tells the algorithm to promote it as suggested content. It like multiplies that action. Watch time and dwell time. So it signals that the video or post is valuable again, and it is boosted as suggested in the Reels tab, or it just gets expanded reach in the feed. So dwell time, for those of you who don't know, is like for a static image post or a carousel post, it's how long somebody actually is looking at your post. So watch time for a video, like how much of the video did they watch? But the algorithm also can tell if you're swiping past an image or if you're spending time reading the caption or swiping through a carousel. Speed of engagement. So this signals early traction and increases the reach and extends the lifespan of the post, which Jeff was talking about earlier. So these are a couple quotes from the CEO of Instagram. The more a post is interacted with early, the more likely it is to be seen more widely.
Bingo.
And we rank things based on how interesting we think they are to you, not follower count. So follower count, of course, we want to grow our follower account, but it's not hindering you as much as you might think it is. You can still get in front of a new audience.
By the way, there's been people asking, can we get copies of the slides? We don't share the slides per se, but every one of you you're going to get a copy of the replay, and the replay has the slides on the screen, obviously.
Yes. So in a nutshell, Instagram doesn't care about how many followers you have. It cares about how your content performs in the first 60 minutes. And Facebook prioritizes the content that creates meaningful interactions. So posts that generate.
So there's a lesson in that. Can you go back to that last slide?
Yeah, sure.
The lesson in that is don't be afraid to delete a post if it's not doing well. Even if you spend a lot of time on it. If it's a photo that you're like, that happens to me sometimes with photos and videos. I'm like, I cannot believe how low the engagement on this is. What I'll do is if it's a good photo or a good message or something, I will delete it and I'll put my thinking cap back on and I'll think about, okay, how can I rewrite this? And usually what'll fix it, Alanna? It's usually in the hook. It's usually the hook that fixes the engagement.
Yes, either in the caption or if it's a video, an verbal hook. So posts that generate conversation in the first few minutes are more likely to be distributed more widely, and that's from Meta. So we're going to talk about some ways to do this. So just in a nutshell, if you guys want to grab a screenshot of this, basically comments and DMs signal authentic interaction, which gives you a reach boost. And I'll just tell you the impact/result on the right is just a reach boost, meaning your post gets in front of more people. So shares and saves signal that the content is valuable, which tells the algorithm to show it to more people. So here are some tactical fixes. Number one, post reels 3 times a week. Short, keep them short. And people always ask me, how long should they be? And I generally say as long as it is interesting, which is why it's so important to, if it is a longer post and there's not a lot of fluff that you can cut out, make sure you're doing something visually engaging. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It might even just be like pouring a coffee, like anything that you're doing or walking is a visual hook. You might not think that it is, but just watching someone do something, even like something small. If any of you are on TikTok, you've seen the videos where like a woman is putting on makeup and telling a story. For some reason, those are so engaging and you just like lock in and watch for some reason. So anything small like that is still considered kind of a hook. Number 2 is use carousel posts instead of static posts for storytelling. And this is because, like we mentioned, dwell time is important. So if someone is spending time scrolling through your images, that increases their dwell time.
Yes. Time spent dwelling or watching is what is going to get you more engagement. So it's no different whether it's a video or a photo. The more time they spend watching
on your
or
post,
dwelling in this case, the more engagement it's going to get.
Right. So number 3 is
writing good copy, helps with that too.
Yes. So add a hook and value to your captions, which will help with dwell time. Number 4 is add one strong call to action and make it engagement focused. Don't make it call me at whatever number. If the goal is to increase engagement so that we can get in front of more eyeballs, make your call to action engagement focused.
Yeah. And DM me is still considered engagement. But comment and share is more effective than DM me.
Yes, DM is good for your relationship score, like one-to-one.
Yep.
So your post will show up to that person. And I mean, that conversation might lead to a deal. So DMs are important in that way. But
But it
yes,
won't necessarily get you more exposure on that post.
right.
Yep.
And then number 5, which I know you're really good at this, batch content weekly to stay consistent. So you should be shooting content like any chance you get. You don't have to have something in mind to do with it right now. Just kind of get in the habit of shooting more content, taking more
Yeah.
selfies with your clients, shooting
Yeah.
more videos, doing more behind the scenes anytime you're in a house. And then you can figure out what to do with it later on Sunday night or
Correct.
Monday
Yeah,
morning or
Alana,
whatever.
I've got stuff in my phone from 10 days ago. I have no idea what I'm going to say, when I'm going to post it, but I grabbed it because I know I'm going to need it at some point. And so
Mm-hmm.
to that point, I want everyone to write down these 3 letters. Ready? A, B, C. In real estate, we should always be capturing. I know we're always closing as well, but we should always be capturing. Even if you have no idea what you're going to say or when you're going to post it, capture the footage so that way when you need something, you can go back through your photos and you'll find it.
Yeah. Someone asked, what is a carousel post? It's a post with multiple images. So you can post, instead of just one static image, it's got like 10 or 20 images. So here's what to do about it before each post. 3 things to do. Number 1, before each post, engage with others' content, which we were talking about earlier. So comment on friends and followers or search posts in your area. Like you can search geotags if you want to get in front of people who don't follow you and you can engage with their content. So this warms up the algorithm, shows that you're an active participant. It might improve your relationship score with some people. Number 2 is respond to DMs and comments. So don't leave anyone hanging. Respond to everyone. This increases your relationship score. So your next post is more likely to show up for those people.
And remember, the sooner you do that, the more likely it'll continue being fed to most people. If you wait a day or 2, it's not going to be as effective.
Right. Try to be as responsive as possible on social media. Number 3 is utilize stories. So go up there in the stories and scroll through and comment on people's stories. Stories prime your audience and get them active on your content. Or in this case, you can post a story first that people can interact with. So use stories before you post. So that's number 3 for before each post. And then post at the right time. So we did 3 things before the post. Now make sure you post at the right time, check your insights and see when the best time to post is. And then what to do after you post for the first 30 to 60 minutes. Number 1 is share the post to your story immediately. So this drives more traffic to your posts, especially for reels and carousels. And the reason I say especially for reels and carousels is that you can't see the full reel in the story. So if you're just doing a static image to the story, now they've seen the whole image, so they don't need to click into it. But if it's a reel and they want to watch the rest of it, they do have to click into it. And same with the carousel. If there are more than one image, they have to click into it to see the rest of the images. Make sense? Number 2 is send it to 2 to 3 close friends and followers. So hopefully they'll interact with the post early on. So that triggers the early engagement, which helps it snowball and reach.
Basically, to put those in a nutshell, once the post is out there, go back to the post, click the little arrow thing. All right, everyone knows the little arrow thing. That's the share, and share it to your story. Every single time, it's going to get a different set of eyeballs on it, and it's going to help you with more engagement on your post.
Mm-hmm. Number 3 is stay on the platform, ready to reply. So quick responses to comments or DMs shows your post is generating meaningful conversation. And another tip here is instead of just commenting, like replying to someone with an emoji or like, thumbs up or whatever, try to keep the conversation going in the comments. So ask a question or, say something more interesting than just an emoji where the conversation just ends. So the more conversation you can generate in the comments, the more it helps your engagement score, the more it helps your reach.
Yep. So again, just to put that kind of in layman's terms, or an example, don't you just love how blank? Isn't it cool how blank? Isn't it awesome how blank? Right? Like you're trying to get them to respond back to you and say, yeah, I love the part about blank, right? You're trying to almost get a conversation going versus just doing like the high five, or whatever.
Exactly. Yep. So just to recap, post more consistently, at least 3 times a week, be more entertaining, engage more, every day. Give your posts the best chance to succeed by doing that before and after checklist.
So, Alanna, if I want to spend, because I know obviously you're super busy in helping our social media, so you don't take on one-on-one clients. I know we get a lot of people request to coach with you directly. Given your schedule and the work that you do for Gloveru and for, my personal real estate business, we decided to put together an opportunity for people to spend 16 full weeks with you for an hour each week. And
Mhm.
I mean, for those that are first timers to Gloveru, I hope you can appreciate we pack in a ton of content in 1 hour. I mean, you just got probably, at any other organization, this would have been like 6 chapters or 6 sessions that they went through. Now, granted, we go through quickly because we know you can go back and watch the replay. But if you really want to take advantage of the business that you are leaving on the table because of your lack of engagement from social media, then you ought to consider joining Alanna for 16 weeks. So if you want to know more about her program, just text the word social to 55444. All right, there's some information on your screen about it. Text the word social to 55444. Again, you'll have an opportunity to work with the same person that does all of my social media, that manages Glover, our real estate team social media, Gloveru's social media. This is certainly, if Alanna, if I'm kind of basic or kind of new to social media, I know you cover the basics, but it gets pretty advanced. Can you speak to that? Because I know you have a wide range of people who join your program. I mean, you have leaders of brokerages and teams that join, and you have brand new licensees that join. So can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so I think every session is really actionable for anybody. Anybody can do it, and there's always a how-to.
Mm-hmm.
I think the hardest sessions we have, I have 2 sessions on how to do paid ads in Meta, and that's when I invite our agency who runs our own ads to teach you exactly how to set it up step by step. So even that we really break it down into bite size. But yeah, it's about creating the habits. It's tips like this. It's
Yeah.
exactly how to edit in CapCut. So I don't, I'm not just giving you, here's CapCut, now go
Yeah,
figure
you're
it
not just
out,
saying go get CapCut and good luck.
Yeah.
You're actually saying here's step one, here's step two. And what I love about your sessions, which doesn't happen in a lot of training sessions, because these are 1 hour live Zooms, but people have the opportunity to ask questions at the end. It's not just a presentation.
Yes, ask questions. We have the Facebook group where I
Yeah,
ask you to post your reels and stuff, and I give my feedback live, and we get ideas from everybody. So it's also
feedback.
good
Yeah,
for if you have a hard time coming up with ideas. Now you're in a class with a bunch of people posting in one place where everybody's happy to share their ideas. They're happy
yeah,
if you take their ideas and run with it. I've had people take our videos that we're doing with our team and exactly recreate them, which
yeah.
makes me very
We're fine
happy.
with
So,
that. That's what we're here
yeah.
for. That's what you paid for. By the way, speaking of paying, you're talking $399 for a month for 4 months. That's $1,600. Alanna, you know people that have gone through this program that are doing 2 to 3 deals a month now following it. So if you get just one deal your first month, then hello, that pays for the
Yeah.
whole thing. But also, I want to point out, in that Facebook group, that the value alone of being able to share stuff in there and mastermind with other people in the course at the same time. I mean, to me, if I'm a newcomer to social media or if I'm not getting the results I want from social media, that alone would have a ton of value to me because those people are probably struggling just as much as I might be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
And
You can.
somebody asked the question, how big is the class? We never have more than 100 people in a Gloveru course, and we do that to encourage. We have to have a certain amount to encourage engagement because we know there's a percentage of people who aren't going to be engaged, but we can't have too much because then you won't be able to get your questions answered. So typically, our algorithm at Gloveru is between 50 to 100 to a group program. And this is a 16-week, 1 hour per week live Zoom. When does it start,
Mhm.
Alanna, and what are the class days and times?
Starts Monday, July 14th, and it's Mondays at 3. And I've never had a
Eastern,
situation
three
where,
o'clock Eastern.
yes, 3 o'clock Eastern, sorry. I've never had a situation where someone had a question or wanted advice and I wasn't able to get to them. So
Yeah,
there's definitely enough one-on-one for Q&A and feedback
that's
and
good.
things like
Yeah,
that.
that's good. So if you want to work with the one that does it all for us, text the word one last time, social to 55444. That's social to 55444. We threw that in the chat for you as well. And listen, it is our third webinar of this summer series. We're going to take a few days off for the holiday. We'll be back next week. Go back to gloveru.com/webinar to check out what we have left. We've got a lot of curated webinars specifically for what's happening in the market and the industry right now. So we hope you got some value out of the last hour. I know you guys did, because we're always learning. We're always growing here at Gloveru. We thank you for joining us. For our Canadian friends, I hope you had a great Canada Day a few days ago or yesterday. And for our U.S. friends, we wish you a great 4th of July holiday. Stay safe this weekend. Go get an Alanna's program, and we'll see you next week for more summer series webinars. All right. See you guys. Have a
Thank
great
you.
rest. Bye-bye.